Hi everyone, today I'm going to be playing on a Minecraft peaceful world because I think it's so much better to not have to fight any monsters, and I'm going to explain to you how to play. Now, as you can see, I'm walking through the plains to get to that specific tree over there, and when you go into the water you get a recipe for boats, which makes water travel a whole lot easier. So the game of Minecraft is basically to chop down trees to gain wood, and then you can make tools for further advancing in the game. When you first gain wood by chopping down the trees, which is the left mouse click, sorry, you get to chop down the trees and you get wooden logs depending on which tree you chop down. There are multiple types of trees, which I'm not going to name right now, but you get the point. And then, as you can see, I will eventually, when I finish chopping down this tree, go into my inventory, which you press E for, and then you can craft oak planks, which allow you to craft sticks, and then with the sticks and oak planks you make a pickaxe, an axe, a sword, or anything you want really. Now, if you see a village nearby, I'm admiring the horses again. If you see the village nearby, which is somewhere over here, near there, you would be able to see that there are higher chances of finding the things you need before even crafting items. Now, I do eventually craft the items needed, but I don't exactly follow many speedrunning rules, especially since I'm not battling the Ender Dragon anytime soon, and I don't really feel like trying to. Now, the most interesting part is that most villages look the same, just in different wood styles. As you can see, this is a normal plains village, which is crafted out of stone, terracotta, and wood. Now, there may be some plants or some other types of stone, like clay, granite, or diorite, but not specifically in this village. And there are many torches placed around so that in case of monsters, they will not attack the villagers. Now, with villagers, you can easily trade. Well, not easily, because you have to acquire the things they desire most. You can trade with villagers for emeralds, or you can trade emeralds for certain items. Now, in this particular part of the video, I am looking for a saddle so I could ride a horse, because it makes land travel so much easier. But no, sadly, I do not find a saddle in this village. But I do go through all of the houses and find baby villagers everywhere, and they are so stinking cute. And there are many farms placed around, which the composters, which are the beehive looking things, well, you know what composters look like. They are placed around the village farms, so we can get farmers which trade you farm goods for emeralds, if I remember correctly, or it's the other way around, you get emeralds for giving them farm goods, and I like looting the chests personally, even though I'm trying to be eco-friendly. I really wanted a saddle in this video, but I didn't actually achieve my goal of getting a saddle. Super sad, I know. Oh, and here's the iron golem, which protects the village. Be careful not to hit it, though it will likely murder you within a few minutes. Maybe even seconds. That thing is overpowered. If you do eventually want to kill it to get iron and a poppy, you can go ahead and pillar up into the air and then strike it from there. And as you can see, I'm finally crafting oak Now, I was officially trying to craft a crafting table because I had forgotten how to do that, apparently. And there we go, there's my crafting table. And then I gather my stuff back, and then I'm also admiring my avatar. So basically what you do with the crafting table, now you have extra slots. You have, as you may notice, you have 9 slots to craft items with. But with your regular inventory crafting, you only have 4. And you need 5 spaces to craft a pickaxe and an axe. You only need 3 for the other things to craft, but you still need the height of the 3 blocks, which that's what the crafting table is for. And as you can see, I'm still venturing around the village trying to find a saddle, and I sadly do not find a saddle, as I've already said many times. I don't know why I was continuing to look, but I do find a bunch of cute little critters in the forest, which I did mention in the original audio that I absolutely hate forests, but only because it's such a tedious task to go through the trees, because you constantly have to chop down the leaves to actually find your way through the forest, because the player is 2 blocks tall, and many of the trees, if you're on like a higher elevation when the tree leaves are sticking out to where you're walking, and on a lower elevation, it's so annoying to have to chop down trees. And look at this beautiful dark bay horse that I was fawning over. I just really wanted to get a horse in this video. I do plan on making a part 2 of this, or making multiple videos of playing in Minecraft, but yes, most of this part of the video is just me fawning around the village, frolicking in the fields, which now I actually do go on. Oh yes, this is just me explaining to myself which way the sun goes down, and as you can see, it is almost nighttime. Luckily for me, I am playing on peaceful mode, so no monsters will actually hurt me. While I do enjoy playing on peaceful mode, I will occasionally play on a survival mode and have it on a normal or even a hard mode, because I do enjoy a challenge. But for my first video, and I'm just explaining to you guys how to play, I do feel like it is needed to not constantly have to fight monsters while playing, and it is annoying to have zombies and skeletons and creepers and spiders. By the way, on the topic of mobs, comment down below what is your favorite mob. I really would like to know. And here I have discovered my first bits of coal, which I do want to mine, so I do craft me a pickaxe. And I accidentally craft a button. I don't craft it, but I do make the recipe for it. Accident. And now I need to make more oak planks because I didn't have enough at first. So then, to make a pickaxe, as you can see, you put 3 on the top row and then 2 sticks in the middle row. And then you have a wooden pickaxe. Now, to actually craft a stone pickaxe, you need to mine the stone, but you cannot do that without the wooden pickaxe first. And when you do mine the stone, you can make a stone pickaxe, which allows you to easily mine coal. I am pretty sure you can mine coal with a wooden pickaxe, but I was not about to risk my chances of this, especially since it was my first pieces of coal. Now, I don't exactly remember if I did directly... Oh, it seems I did directly mine the coal, which wasn't actually what I had planned to do. I misclicked, and then I didn't want to seem silly by going onto the stone instead. But yes, I do actually mine stone here, and I do end up getting a lot of coal, which I find really nice because I love smelting things. And in this part, the video in the original audio when I was actually like playing this. Oh, by the way, this is future me here, not when I was playing the game. I had a lot of fun smelting things, which I don't do in this video specifically, but I did smelt things in the first few runs of this video. Yeah, there were a lot of bloopers to making this video because this was one of my first times playing on computer. Usually I play on my Nintendo because that's so much easier than the controls. I did in fact realize that there's different times you can go to bed. It varies depending on if you're on the Nintendo or on the PC, because on the PC you can only go to bed once it's directly nighttime, but if you go to bed on the Nintendo you can go at sundown. Well, it has to be a certain sundown, but I find it pretty neat that they've changed that to fit the purposes of nighttime better, because I don't personally know anyone who goes to bed at, say, 5 o'clock, because that's usually when the sun goes down, specifically at this time of year. But I am going to continue mining my coal until the rest is in my inventory. Now, there are many things you can smelt, but there are also things you don't specifically need to smelt. You need to smelt iron and gold, as far as I'm concerned, but you don't actually need to smelt diamond, lapis lazuli, redstone, or coal. And I find it pretty neat because not needing to mine and then smelt everything is super great, because smelting things takes a long time, especially if you don't have directly everything you need for smelting. As you can see here, I crafted a furnace and I missed the recipe, but you leave the block in the very middle of everything. You leave that spot blank and then you fill it with stone all around, and then you have a furnace. And here I just put the coal in for no reason. I do move along now and continue on with my journeys. I do like exploring the worlds, but I did eventually plan to settle down in this world because it isn't very peaceful to travel around the whole time. And I do quite like gathering the chicken eggs that I just find around, because it's so much easier than having to raise chickens and make a whole farm out of it. I don't particularly like hurting the animals, and putting them all in a mass farm isn't very peaceful, nor is it very aesthetic. But I am traveling along this area now, and I do decide to chop some trees, which is basically deforestation. Not really, since there isn't very many trees in this specific area. I do struggle with cutting down this tree. At one point it wouldn't let me chop down a part of the tree, which I find really silly. Because I was trying to chop down this and it wouldn't let me chop for some reason. I suppose that was just a part that I couldn't reach yet, I suppose. But I do eventually decide to swim over the river and go into a forest, even though I did, as previously mentioned, say I hated forests. It is necessary to go to the forest though, because where else are you supposed to get all the wood? And the forest is where I saw all those adorable creatures. They were wolves, but they aren't hostile unless you hit them, even if you're playing in normal or hard mode or hardcore mode. They won't hurt you unless you hurt them first, and if they're in a pack, their pack will hurt you too if you hurt them. And there isn't much else in this video that needs to be explained, but I don't want this to literally be a silent video for the rest of the video. I did voice over this while I was actually playing it, but I was blabbering on and on about how I hated forests and how tedious it was to go through them. And I don't exactly want you guys to have to listen to me blabbering about hating forests for another 12 or so minutes. I'm not exactly sure how long this video is, but I do hope you're enjoying it so far. This is my first Minecraft video ever, and here I jump into the water. What a daredevil I am. Not really though, because it wasn't a far jump. If there was more land, I would have likely lost a few hearts. Yes. They do regenerate fairly quickly in peaceful mode, but, you know, not in normal mode or hard mode. I feel like I'm being quite repetitive here, but I do think we do get to see the cute critters soon. I promise you, they are so adorable. They look so cute. I love little critters. They're so cute. And I was originally going to try to pet it or feed it something, and then I realized I can't do that because I don't have any bones. That was really sad. And here I'm jumping off the cliffs because I was not paying attention to where I was going. But yes, there's a lot of cows here that I would usually kill for meat if I were in normal mode, but since the hunger bar doesn't deplete in peaceful mode, I didn't feel like killing them. And there I was just going to the caves, saying I didn't want to go in because I was already in a cave for a little bit of this video, which, in case you didn't remember, it was my first night that I stayed in that little tiny cave where I gathered all the coal. It wasn't really a cave, but I just wanted an excuse to not go into the cave. Besides, it's much nicer out here, where you can see all the trees. And as you can see, I saw lava over there, and I was like, I'm not going over there. I didn't want to get burned. And yet I still found a forest fire going on here. Yes, I did try to stop the lava as much as I could. I failed miserably. I didn't really save anything. I did block off the lava hole and prevented it from causing even more danger. But yes, but I didn't really save anything. I was contemplating whether to jump into the river over there, but I ended up not doing that. And I almost fell in there too. And this is what I mean when I say the forest is tedious. As you can see, I already had to chop down multiple leaves to get past. That's the most annoying part of traveling through the forest. And anyways, otherwise I do really enjoy traveling through the forest. It's not that big of a deal chopping down a few leaves, but if you're in a really small forest where everything is crowded together, there's a lot. Oh, and this is where I meet my first bee, and there's a bee beehive right there. And I also settle down right, like, in the vicinity of this area. And I did, in the original audio, show you guys how fun it is to jump on the beds, because it makes you bounce a little bit. And I do end up settling here for the night because I really like this area, especially with a clear view of the sun going down. And I did eventually try to show you guys how pretty the sunset is. It doesn't exactly show correctly, especially since it's really difficult to see unless you go directly above. And here I was trying to craft torches or something. I don't exactly remember what I was trying to craft, but I was looking for something in particular. I really don't remember what I was going on about here. I recorded this video like 2 days ago, and I'm just now voicing over it. because I felt it was a high time I did. I do really enjoy the process of playing Minecraft because it's so peaceful, unless you do have to fight monsters and mobs and other items. Yes, it is annoying when you have to constantly beat mobs because it is dangerous too, and you can die very easily, especially if you're playing in hardcore mode. You don't get a second chance if you die, which I think is very not as fun as you may think. I mean, you probably don't think it's fun to die anyways, especially not in a game that you've been working on for so long. And this is the part where I was trying to show you how pretty the sunset is. So you can see there's orange on the bottom, pink, and then blue, the clouds and the trees. It's really pretty. You can especially see it when there's less trees covering it, but I do especially like having the trees there. This is the one thing trees are good for, depending on where you are. And now continuing on with my sort of sleep, which is basically just a few seconds of sleep, not very much as you can tell, but it is nice to get like a few seconds of break in between the days, unless you mine all night or something, go chopping down trees, fighting mobs, but I think it is really neat to have the option. If you want to sleep, you can sleep, and if you don't want to sleep, you don't have to. It doesn't force you to stay awake, it doesn't force you to go to sleep. I mean, it does force you to stay awake if you don't have a bed, but that's a material problem. If you don't have wool to make a bed, then you can't craft a bed. I was lucky finding village that early on in the video, which I really, really enjoyed looting. I wouldn't normally. Oh my gosh, I got so distracted with this. I found the cutest little wolf, and this isn't the only one I saw, but he kept running away from me, and it was so sad. Now he's started standing by me, and I was wondering what he was looking at. But then he does continue to run away, and I was really, really upset because I really wanted to tame the pup, but I couldn't because I didn't have any bones. I should have honestly not played in peaceful mode, because then I wouldn't have needed to literally go everywhere to find bones. I could just kill a skeleton or two to find bones, and then dilemma would have been solved. I did see the coal there, but I really didn't feel like going all the way into that cave back there to find it. I do eventually find iron in this video though, which I definitely need, and more chicken eggs. I can make cake soon, probably. And here are the sheep I was talking about. When you kill them, they drop wool, or if you shear them with shears, which is 2 iron, you can definitely get wool to make the beds. And here I'm just continuing to frolic around in the leaves of the trees and the fallen leaves. Yes, this is the boring part of the whole video, because I'm just going around through the trees, and again, this is pretty tedious. But here it gets better because there's not as many trees around that I need to necessarily chop down the leaves of. I do decide going deeper into the forest at one point, because I really didn't feel like going across water again, even though that was probably much easier than going through the forest. Yeah, now looking back, I should have probably went the waterway, but you know, what's done is done, said is said. And this is actually where I see the fire. And I was like, oh my goodness, I need to stop this. Because there were little critters in the area, and I didn't want them getting hurt. Now, while being afraid of being burned myself, I was brave, and I immediately took some blocks out and blocked the hole off. I had to pillar up through the grass and then place down wood planks to stop the fire. And I placed down 2 for good measure, and then I jumped down from my little platform that I had made, which is basically just 1 block line, and then I extinguished the fire as fast as I could, salvaging everything that was possible to save. Now it's not that exciting really. I couldn't reach most of the things, but I did try my best to extinguish the fires, which I didn't really do good at, but I did manage to save a lot of things. Now, as you can see, I did manage to put out most fires, except for this flying one. I don't know how this happened in the first place. How does fire fly? I don't know. I just couldn't, save that. But the lava did go away, and no one's at risk anymore. I did never go back to this. And then I did accidentally fall into this little river right there. That was probably annoying. I remember not liking falling into there, but as I said earlier, what's done is done, and what happens, this is where I paused for a moment. Literally 2 seconds ago, I paused to look around. I did contemplate jumping into there, but I thought, what is the point? I was really hoping to find iron in that specific area, because I usually find iron in water or in the vicinity of water. I was just minding my own business, going through the forest per usual, and here I was yapping about an earlier Minecraft world that I did, where I found a pillager outpost with an iron golem trapped inside, and I felt really bad for the iron golem, and I freed it, and yes, that's basically the whole story I was telling right in this moment. But I think I am almost at the part where I found the iron. I do not remember smelting it in this specific video. Yes, I am going to make a part 2 if you guys want me to. So comment down below if you want me to make a part 2. And here I was so excited to see the donkeys because they were so adorable. Again, I didn't have a saddle, so I couldn't ride them, and they were likely too small to ride anyways, which I still found extremely sad. Here you could see me trying to ride it, or at least tame it, and to no luck. And I do actually end up killing a horse later on in this video, because I was trying to ride it and I just couldn't because I didn't have a saddle. Now I know that's no reason for me to kill a harmless animal, but I did it anyways. And see, this is where I actually found my first piece of iron, and I missed the water jumping down. But yes, I do find iron here. Yippee, yay me. I was really proud of this because I usually do not find iron in the first 3 days of Minecraft playing. Minecraft days, mind you. This did not take me 3 days to film. But I don't usually find iron this quickly, especially not in Peaceful, because usually I find them where all the mobs are, which is why I always die in every single round that I do with mobs, because I'm always trying to get the iron, and then I never get the iron because the mobs get me first. Oh, and this is where I was wondering if I could find torches. Because I was really confused. Because if I could usually craft, a campfire, I could usually craft a torch. And I forgot, how exactly I make a torch. So watch me struggle. Okay, I did give up. Yeah, doing this. And I was trying to find torches because it was so dark in that little, like, a cave part, and I wanted to see if there's any more iron in the actual cave, which I'm pretty sure there was, and I did end up collecting that iron too, but it was really dark and I couldn't see anything, so I found that really upsetting, but it's not that big of a deal, especially since I did get iron enough, nobody needs all the iron in the world, there's no point in doing that. That would take ages to get, especially since iron isn't very common. And that bat scared me out of my mind. Because when I was walking down to the little cave, the bat flew directly into my face, which scared me. I'm pretty sure that's when I unlocked the torches. So yes. I was surprised to find another iron piece right there. And another, and another. But I was also really happy because no one can complain about iron. I'm an iron fan. It's my favorite thing to mine. And here I am, still looking for more iron because I'm greedy with my iron. I like making iron armor and iron weaponry. And here you can see me walk straight past the gold because I had no interest, but I did eventually find more iron, which is right here. But I really couldn't see anything, which made it extremely difficult to know if I left any iron behind or if I got all of it. I am pretty sure I got all of the iron. But again, what's done is done. Like I said, I'm feeling repetitive with everything, especially since this is my first video on the Minecraft topic. I'm sure if you do want me to make more Minecraft videos, I will definitely have a better way of explaining the game. And that is where the back jump scared me. It flew straight into my face and I was jump scared. But here you can see the moonshine purple on top of the rocks. I'm not sure if that was just the way I was seeing it or if that's actually how it was supposed to be, but I did see purple, so I found that really cool. And this video is almost at an end actually. I climbed into this cave not knowing how to get back out, and I honestly could have gone a different way, but no, I had to make it more difficult for myself by bonking my head on top and then not even making it that far. And yes, I was struggling to get back up here. Sorry, I let the table quiet for a minute because I was just watching myself struggle and trying not to laugh. But yes, I do get up now. Well, partially. But when I do get up, I do think I end the video. So, a brief thanks for Abigail Pinehaven and Tootsie for inspiring me to make these videos because I watch their videos and I love seeing how different yet similar their videos are because they always make mining sound so fun. and playing Minecraft sounds so fun, even with mobs on, and I really aspire to be like them. And that's basically all, because once I get up here, I do end the video. So I'm going to let you watch my struggling for another minute, but don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to comment your opinion on this video and tell me if you want a part 2. But yeah, that's all, guys. Bye bye. Barry out.